Hi, Sandy.
Hi, it's Dave.
Hi, it's Kirk.
Welcome to the A.D.K channel. Today we are going to be checking out a band called Sentient. We're going to be checking out their recent music video, Lost. Let's go check it out. Okay, there we go. Sentient and the song Lost. Let's give it to Andy first this time. What's your thoughts on this one?
It's strange this has come up today because for the viewers watching at home, we've actually all had sort of early sight of the EP, so we've got to try not to give too much away. Which I really enjoyed listening to today. I don't know if the video's on release or we've got early sights as well, but I haven't seen it before. But it's a really good track. I mean, it stands out from the others on the EP and previous Sentient releases. Has been a little bit different. It's a bit sort of slower in tempo, a little more sort of melodic and progressive for what they usually do. I love the look of the video from the start. You know, the sort of minimal lighting, obviously inspired by. We've commented on before that the light up fretboard on the bass. I think we've seen this chap sort of use that before live. When I heard the EP and obviously watching the video as well, I was really shocked when Joe's sort of clean vocals came in and the whole sort of track comes down. I mean, he performs it really well, but it was a bit of a shock. Following on from the vocals, I like the sort of layered vocals in the chorus. If I'm honest, I wasn't that keen on the clean passages. I know there's sort of two sections where it sort of comes into that sort of, that sort of style. As a personal preference, I'd prefer that not to have been in the song, but I really do like the layered clean vocals on the aggressive vocals on the chorus. I like the way they've done that. Subtle use of keyboards towards the end as well. It's a very different Sentient track, but it's a really good one. Love the look of the videos. The drums in particular throughout the EP sound so, I don't know what word to describe it. It just sounds really good, really well recorded, really well put in the mix along with the other instruments. I think that's probably down to Ricky the drummer who was done the mixing, the mastering. He's obviously sort of concentrating on his own sort of input to the tracks as well. But yeah, it's a really good song with a really good video to match as well. Love the EP as well, guys.
Okay, over to you, Kirk.
Another video, I think.
Yeah, I'll pick up on the positives that you mentioned first, Andy. The drumming on this, love the production, the clarity of that drum snare, but also just how clean the double kick sounds in there. If I was producing a record, I'd want the drums to sound like that. Forceful drumming from Ricky holds that song together, doesn't it? And it's his job to do that. If you're a drummer, your job is to keep time, but the grooves that he's putting into that song really did keep it going. I don't think it could justify 6 minutes and 15 seconds, that song. There were a few things that I'll need to go back to and just see if my instinct was right or wrong. I thought the first set of clean vocals from JB were a bit too atonal. I don't think they had enough confidence in them. I've never heard him sing like that before. This is a big departure from what I'm used to. So I've seen this band 5 times and they are normally the songs are 4 minutes long, really low-end guitar playing, absolutely slay you, brutal music. So I like how they've experimented here and gone in a more colourful, textured prog metal direction. Again, Andy, you're right. The best vocal part in that song is where JB is doing the dual vocals, where you've got one doing this rather shaky, again, atonal voice, and then over the top of that, you've got his trademark muscular guttural voice, which he's the best in the scene here, isn't it, for that, certainly in Hertfordshire, in our area. Great enunciation in his harsh vocals. You can actually hear every lyric, which, as we know, is quite hard to discern when you're listening to the more extreme forms of metal. I thought it was a good structure to that song, though. Compare it to another song that we've reviewed tonight by the American progressive tech death band Tegmentum. I thought this was a lot more disciplined. But to me, it did seem like it was one long fade out from 5 minutes and 20 seconds until the end. So to me, that doesn't justify a song stretching that long. A lot of space in between the chords as well. So to me, that's why it was progressive. And yeah, subtle use of keyboard at the end. Great music, great performance from the guys. Great musicianship. I want to hear it again just to try and understand it a bit better. But I'm excited about the EP. Even if that is a song that's atypical of the other tracks on it, it's certainly going to pique my interest. I got it in my inbox today. I'll be listening to it tomorrow.
Okay. So it's just down to me to wrap it up. I'm really disappointed. I have to be honest. And the reason is it's not it's a bad song or anything, but Sentient, when you see them live, there's something scary about them. They're like a rated 18 band. Feels like a PG-13 version of Sentient. This felt way too reined in. There's an intensity you get from them on live. There's just it's almost like it's just this energy that comes out of them. This felt way too polished. And you talked about the drum sound. The drum sound is incredibly well produced. So much so that I just didn't get that same level of energy. There's something missing in that production that you get from them live that we didn't get in this production. And I couldn't put my finger on it. I mean, I was listening to the headphones. So you may have noticed I put the headphones on halfway through to try and get a bit more of a clarity on it. Now, over those instrumental passages at the end, those keyboard parts were they were a lot louder than the guitars were. I think the guitars were too low in the mix. They could have been a lot more forward. Like you would live, you'd get them a lot more forward. JB is a powerhouse on his aggressive vocals, but his clean vocals, yeah. Sorry, guys, JB, they just weren't for me. They were. I think if this was your first impression of Sentient, this is not the first. This is not the song to give someone as your first impression. You would give them Gaslighter or something like that,
yeah,
to get them hooked. Then this one would be okay. It is
experimental, as Kirk said. You know, this isn't typical Sentient. They are trying something a little different, but it's kind of surprising to be the lead video from the new EP.
It is, and it's even like the clean. After that first run of the clean vocals, I was then going, well, what would I have preferred? Like, I understand why you've gone to the clean vocals to make a difference. Maybe if it had been more of a whisper spoken word bit, would have been cooler than I'm trying to sing it. Because I agree with you, Kirk, on this one. There was some very atonal vocal passages. There was nothing really going on with that clean section. It worked perfectly well when he was doing it over that chorus when it was doubled up. Worked brilliantly. But that first and second time when he goes through it, didn't really work. There is a little bit of a story tell in the video. So we've got that touching hand at the beginning, and then you get to understand it at the end where you see this drowned woman. So I'm guessing lost is love lost, someone's drowned. If you're going to put a bit of a story in, you might as well put a bit more of that story in earlier on so we can understand it. Because why were you wearing a shirt and tie? Was it a funeral? Was that what the black tie was about? There's an attempt to tell a story. Because you even saw the guys on the drums. They were wearing shirts and ties as well. So I'm kind of guessing that the whole concept there was that someone's died. They're representing themselves going to the funeral of the loss. So it's a mourning, and at the end you can see her reaching up towards that. But that overlay of that imagery could have been used earlier on to help tell that story, because we have no other imagery at any other point apart from then. And I think that would have helped tie the story of Lost and what it's about. You only really get it at the end. You can kind of start to piece it together a little bit more. But I'd have liked a little bit more of that through the story, because you even had them doing it as an overlay with like a part fade, so opacity, so you could actually see through the person floating in the water. So you could see the band still. So there's no reason why they couldn't have done that earlier on. But that would have been what I'd have liked. So yeah, and I know it says disappointment because I know how good they are live. I mean, they are. Well, actually, I'm not going to say it. No, I'm not going to say what we were talking about Metal to Masses. But yeah, they're a great band. One of my favourites to see live. So that's why I just didn't get that level of energy, even in the heavy sections, from this video that I know I can get live. So that's what probably disappointed me a little bit about that.
Yeah, I admire them for taking risks, though, Dave. Sorry, before we wrap up. They've taken a risk. On the whole, I think it's just about successful. But if you were to ask again, we say it's quite easy to lampoon now, isn't it? The gent progressive metal genre. I don't think you could create a meme out of that. I didn't see cliche after cliche in the imagery or even in the way that they approach the songwriting. It was actually quite disciplined, wasn't it? Compared to some of the other stuff that we've been listening to recently. I
would say if you say a meme can only be taken as something that's an extreme, or is either really bad, really good. This was neither. It wasn't really good. It wasn't really bad. It was just what it is. It's a basic music video for a song that had some good parts in it overall. But for me, not one of their strongest songs. I don't ever remember them playing this live.
I've not heard it live because we would know.
It would be the first thing I would say is if this is the lead single, on the run up to their EP, you would have thought we'd have heard this live maybe at some point. So it's a bit of an odd. I think it's the right question of it's like, so why was this their lead single off the EP? Anyway, there we go. Sentient and Lost. Now, if you like this video, please do like, share, and subscribe. And we'll see you on another video sometime very soon. Take care.